How'd you do the reaction?
I don't know. I just double thumbed and I kept it up long enough.
It says it is preparing for live stream. All right, we should be live streaming.
Welcome, everyone, to the Hypnotic Big Brother se Season 6 Saloon Showdown Finale. Before we get started, Seb and V, congratulations to both of you on making it as far as you have. You have lasted 47 days in this game, and you two have done what 14 hopefuls, both fans and favorites, were unable to do, and making it all the way here to the final two. You both should be proud of yourselves regardless of the outcome of this evening. We went over the logistics of how tonight's going to be handled with you off recording, but just for everyone tuning in, here's how this is going to work. We call it the haiku format. The opening statements will be 5 minutes. Both Seb and V, you guys will be opening up and pleading your case as to why you should win Hypnotic Big Brother Season 6. Then, afterwards, each juror will have 7 minutes to confront or to interrogate. Both could be dedicated towards one. It's going to be 7 minutes to do whatever they want to do. And then lastly, for the closing statements, it's 5 minutes yet again. Seb, as the final head of household, you is your responsibility to determine the order of who will go first in opening statements. And by doing so, the inverse will be true for closing statements. So if V opens, V closes second. And if you open, you also close. So Seb, do you have your decision?
Yes, so I am going to open, and that means that V is going, so it's going to go me, then V in the opening, then the inverse being V, then me in the closing.
All right. I'm just letting both of you guys know. If you guys want to concede any of your time, you guys are able to do that. I will be having the timer on here and we'll be starting it once you guys speak. And same thing for the jurors. Everyone that's tuning in right now, if you want to concede the rest of your 7 minutes, you can't allocate it to someone else. You can't give, oh, I'll give this extra minute to like Topher or what the fuck. Like you can't do that. Nor can jurors do that to each other. But V, can you please go off camera and mute? Thank you. Seb, are you ready, my boy?
I am, yes.
All right. I'm gonna pull up the timer right now. And timer will start once you start speaking.
Of course, so hello, Hypnotics Season 6 jurors and viewers and Prod. I want to thank Prod for casting me this season and just having me here. I'm super glad that I was able to get to this point of the game. I know for a lot of you jurors, I am somewhat of a question mark. Multiple people had been evicted and mentioned that I'm going to have a long time explaining my game. And I'm hoping and I'm glad to do it tonight. So just some statistical stuff to start off with. I won 4 competitions this season, won 3 HOHs and 1 power veto, 5 if you count part 1 and part 3. I was the last person to touch the block at all, um, besides Chris, obviously. And I was the last person to be an individual nom. I was nominated 3 times this season, but I only received 3 votes all game. Um, this game for me, um, I mentioned to a couple of you during the season, this game was very social. A lot of people had a lot of social game attached to it, and I just want to touch on some of mine. Socially, I feel like I had a connection with a lot of you, specifically with Cody, V, Timmy, Joel, and with Issa. I also had connections with Julia up until Topher's second eviction, Joanne up until the round I was put on the block, Topher, Al, and Esme. And even with some of the pre-jurors, I feel like I had either a good relationship or a decent relationship with Jennifer, Chris before he quit, and even Caden, the one round they were in. This game for me, I definitely played it a lot slower and a lot harder than I usually do. This first round of this game was very hard. I knew for a fact that Joel was staying, but I told myself this season that I was going to be honest. I was going to push myself to be honest, and I was. I was honest to Joel, and we had a really good conversation. It set me up. I played a lot of the 11-4 up and 11-3 up throughout the season, especially in the beginning, because for me, I knew I had connections within the 11. I knew that I had connections at every single aspect of the game. When I touched the block at Final 9, I knew I had at least 3 votes to keep me, if not 4 or 5. For me, when I touched the block during live night, I knew it was going to be a 2-1 vote for me to stay. When I touched the block at final 5, I knew it was going to be a 2-0 vote for me to stay. Throughout this game, I used those connections not only to gain information, but to be able to play a little more passively going into the jury phase. So, for example, from the first live night all the way to touchy subjects, I threw all those competitions. I knew that there were people who were going to win HOH and keep me safe. Um, Ultimately, I did get put up at final 9, and it once I went to prison and survived, I really had to sit there, and I took that time that I was off the game to sit there and think of every scenario of what would have happened as Timmy as HOH, and then prepare to move forward. So from there, when I win the final 7 HOH, I put up 2 people who are the opposite of me in the game. Ultimately, though, as I've preached with a lot of you this season, I don't like burning bridges in this game. And it was a very fact on that when I kept Joel over Joanne. On paper, I should have evicted Joel because he is someone who put me up, targeted me, pushed me out the door. But I took that opportunity to rebuild the bridge with Joel. I also knew he was a giant shield. And he is someone that every single person said they did not want to take to the end. At final 5 and final 6, I put trust in everyone, but everyone trusted me enough to have me go forward one more round. Cody as the final 4 HOH put enough trust in me to break that tie and evict, or not break the tie, but break that at final 4 and evict Joel. And at final 3, after convincing Cody when we talked to drop and throw the first part of the HOH to me, I won part 3. I was able to secure my spot in this final 2, my single-handedly by cutting Cody and taking V. I know a lot of you are gonna have questions on why I took V. As I mentioned to a couple of you, comps don't scare me. Me and V both have won our number of comps and done our things with them. I'm going to be very excited to answer any questions, anything that I might have lied or been honest to a fault with. And I hope that you guys respect that. And I'm excited to hear from y'all later.
I hate that noise. My goodness. V, are you there?
It's working. Woohoo.
Yippee, it's working. All right. Timer starts once you start talking.
Okay, I would like to begin with a quote by a historic fencer called Johannes Lichtenhauer. He who remains calm and correct under pressure controls the fight. From very early on in this game, I had practically everything put against me in a time zone that it's obviously not the easiest, to growing up somewhere that is not always the easiest to relate to with people outside of my own culture I grew up with, to being one of the youngest on the cast. However, at every opportunity, I made sure that if I was put in a position where I needed to fight, I did. I'm not going to be here and preach that I played an honest and non-backstabbing game. I did. At every opportunity, I did what I had to do to get to this point. A lot of you voted me as the outlaw of the season, and honestly, I would say you're correct. From when I threw John and Jennifer completely under the bus, completely throwing their games out of the window, when what John had said was completely true. I had leaked a lot of information to him, but I knew the moment that he went against me, I had to use all the information I had and create buffers. That's why I immediately threw Jennifer with them and Jonathan with them, because the 3 of them were already people I was getting worried about, but also working closely with. So by not only throwing their games out of the window, I had 3 people who were always going to go ahead of me. When I won my first HOH, I wanted to make sure that I had an easy round to kind of regroup on what I could do. From very early on, I had a final 2 alliance with Cody, which I know he had many, but I also had a very close relationship with people like Julia, Joel, and Seb. Later on, connections happened with Esme and with Timmy as well, but those were not always the easiest to work with. Once we hit the jury phase, obviously we have Topher return, which wasn't the easiest for me because obviously I got them out. However, when Topher and I started talking, I didn't directly want him out again, and I knew he would be benefit for me. I would be lying if the early jury phase is my best part of my game. It isn't. I lose Esme, who was someone that I was very close with in this game. I'll have Topher go on HOH when I would rather have Issa go. And obviously, during Timmy's HOH, I am the prime target. However, from the final 7 onwards, I had a ticket to sitting here at final 2. Not only did I save Joel together with Seb and Cody, I had Cody taking me to final 3 the minimum. I had Seb taking me to final 3 the minimum. I had Joel taking me to final 2 or final 3 the minimum. I had Issa saying they would go to the end with me. I had Joanne saying to go to the end with me, and I had Timmy saying to go to the end with me. At this point, I knew people already were thinking I would be a comp threat. And I was a comp threat. I won 3 HOHs and I won 3 vetoes. And that at this point, I already only had 1 vote against me from John. Not only once did I get another vote. I only got 1 vote this whole game, despite being seen as a prime target once Timmy had his HOH. Yeah, I'm here at final 2, not having needed to win a comp since the final 6. From final 5 onwards, I threw every comp at every opportunity because I wanted to prove to you guys as on the jury that I did not need to win comps to stay here. At final 4, I could have easily been Cody because, as a lot of you on the jury know, because I had shown you these, I have had notes since day 1. I knew these comp names. I knew these days. I knew who won what when. But I knew if I won these things, that my threat level would become too big for anyone to take me to final 2 if I was sitting at final 3 and could not win that. So I wanted to make sure that my threat level with challenges was even lower than it already was before, because I wanted to prove that my social game and my skills and my deals would get me to this point. When at final 7, Joel came to the information with Cody and I that Joanne, Issa, and Timmy had an alliance together with Joel, I knew that I needed to pivot from going to the end with Issa and Cody to specifically going to the end with Seb and Cody. At this point, I knew Joel was still one of my biggest competitions and threats, and I needed to get him out, but he was also still one of my closest allies. And obviously, I would have loved to sit him at the end, but I knew that my ass would be whooped to me and handed to me. At every opportunity, I have created buffers from first either Jonathan, John, and Jennifer to later Timmy, Issa, and Joanne, where I would have been safe no matter what. I genuinely love all of you, and I think it has been an amazing experience sitting here. And Seb, you are such an amazing friend to sit next to, and I do appreciate you taking me here. However, I think this season has proven that I've given it my all at every opportunity. I've sit here from the middle of the morning to the middle of the night, as it is literally 3 a.m. for me right now, being on calls with all of you, making deals with you at every opportunity, and fighting. And hopefully, you guys can respect the game that I played, and I cannot wait to answer any and all questions that you do have. So far, I've genuinely loved being here, and whatever happens tonight, I'm happy.
All right. That's your opening speeches for you. All right, as we said off of recording, we're going to be going in chronological order of jurors, unless explicitly stated otherwise. I know we mentioned that there's a couple people who are currently not in attendance right now. We're trying to get a hold of them, get what we need from them, and some might be arriving late. But we have a fellow prod member in the breakout room right now, sending in our first juror. This is the part where like the juror comes into the main room. This is the part.
They're making it here.
I know they are, but I'm just saying, like, it'd be cute, what I was saying, all that.
This is the jurors standing up right now, and it's really just taking a long time for them to get in frame.
No,
Like,
maybe they're
a little bit.
backwards.
And there goes Seb's
They're
Wi-Fi.
like
Also,
just
as a reminder, the live stream is a few seconds behind, so that could also be.
Esme, look at
Hi,
that.
Esme.
Perfect timing.
It muted me and turned off my camera. Hello.
Oh my God, you look so beautiful.
stunning.
7 minutes start now.
So obviously, as the first flop booty juror, I had a lot of time to think about what happened in this game. The jury knows that this was a very rough game for me. There were some outside factors and inside factors that almost made me leave the game. I don't think I mentioned that to either of you at this point, but I think for me, and what I've gathered from some of the jurors, that this is going to be a harder vote because it feels like, I don't know, for them, I don't want to speak for all of them, but I think a lot of us feel like we just didn't fully understand a lot of what you guys were doing. And And I think for me specifically, some of the comments that V got was that you felt there was a little bit lack of tact with some of the way that you handle some situations. And I think I wanted to give you the floor in that scenario or in that regard to be like, okay, what went on with that and kind of why in the fact that some people got rubbed the wrong way with what it felt like was this sense of inflated ego, I guess, is what was coming through.
Yeah, okay. This is the first time I'm hearing any of that. However, I can understand where some of that coming from, especially when it comes to the second HOH I won. I definitely was definitely getting in my feelings, wanted to go extra hard in that. For me, at a certain point, I knew that I didn't really owe anyone anything in this game. At the time on Team 1 HOH, I knew everyone besides maybe Cody was ready to vote me out, but I know Cody didn't want to do that. But everyone was ready to just let me go. And even before that, I was practically fucked when Jonathan and I were on the block. But I had to fight and make sure that I had every deal going on and plead my case and create a world where I would stay. So I think for me, I felt I was in a situation where I needed to get to this point, and I cannot always make everyone happy. Obviously, I didn't want to make people feel bad when I was interacting with them. I generally have loved meeting everyone here on the jury. However, I knew I can't always have everyone be happy with me. Especially when it comes to specifically game related things. And I hope this is game related things. If this is something like personal things, I would love to talk about this postseason. Like this is not, I definitely wanted to make anyone feel that they are unwanted or not liked or whatever, because I genuinely love everyone in this game. I think another great example could be, you think, with Issa in this game. I definitely am not happy with how I always handled Issa in this game, especially regarding my second HOH, because I, at that point, was just very blinded with my alliance with Seb, Timmy, and Cody, which was an alliance I had for a while and was generally very loyal to. However, in the end, it took too long for me and Issa to then actually have a conversation and really hash things out and discuss things. So overall, I'm really sorry that I did make people feel bad. It definitely was never my intention. I think from my perspective, I felt that I just needed to do what I had to get to this point. It wasn't easy, and I hope that's understandable, at least from my end. But I definitely didn't want to make people feel bad at all.
Right, thank you. Seb, I feel like for me, your game is a little bit more of a question mark just because I feel like it seems like your game started to kick more into gear by the time it was already gone, right? Like you had some of that early week one where you kind of got wrapped in with under my HOH by in association with Topher and Issa, even though I think one of the few people that was trying to dispel that a little because I think I was because we had that group. I think you then won an HOH kind of right after that, but then you ended up kind of fading back into the background. I would want a little bit more. Was that intentional? Was that okay? Just because like I didn't, because like from the like weeks 4 to 6 where I was still in, there was not a lot of, I think, game that I got to see from you.
Of course, yeah. So once I became HOH, kind of as we touched on, we had formed that alliance with Timmy and Cody with V. That was the group I was super loyal to. I was very open with everyone with what I wanted in that third HOH was to blow shit up, and I did. And the line, this hypothetical 11v3, ended up becoming more very fluid. And because of that, people were now coming to me with information. I wasn't having to beg people for everything for me to know. People were coming to me saying, yeah, now that this, 11 group isn't, all this thing that we all have to stand on and act like it was such a big thing, now we could put more trust into you. And this is where now I start becoming closer and I start having more conversations with Joanne. I had a 2-hour long call with Jennifer prior to live night where we were like, we're going to keep each other safe if we can. Ultimately, that did not happen because everyone wanted Jennifer out at that point. And so for me personally, I felt very confident that I can go back under the radar because I knew there were people. It wasn't like the first 3 rounds where, the wrong person wins HOH and they put me up, I felt very confident that every single person, if not the majority of the people in the cast, if they won HOH, they were not putting me up as an initial nom. And from there, I can recuperate myself and I can move forward and say, okay, I threw this HOH. I didn't need this HOH. I can't put up people right now. But I could say, I'm not an initial nom, but someone like Cody or someone like V, someone like Timmy, they're on the block. Okay, now I'm going to try hard for this veto. Oh, the 2 people I don't care about are on the block. I wouldn't say don't care about, but 2 people who are not on like super high on my trust rankings, I'm able to throw this veto. I'm able to, like you said, go back under the radar, downplay my game, be able to, keep those question marks for people, because you'd rather keep someone who you don't know exactly if their game is super strong versus someone whose game is openly super strong. And that's why, and I mentioned in the beginning of my speech, once Final 9 hit, I realized I did need to start playing more forward, more so that's why I started picking it up and started playing more open.
All right, thank you. I guess the next juror is gonna come in. All right, bye.
Thank you so much, Esme. Head back to the breakout room. And here's that pesky timer again, like not lining up with what it shows on my screen, but like
I love it.
I love it. Like when Esme started speaking, I clicked. I was like, like I just kept clicking. Oh, Topher, wonderful timing, guys. Just as I was about to say, welcome in
I
our
was
next
just
jury.
about to at you.
Yep. Hopefully, well, I'm watching the stream. Hopefully the stream is going still. I know we had some moments we missed part of Esme's thing, but let me know when we're good to go.
Your timer starts whenever you start talking.
Okay, congratulations, you two, on making it to the end of the game. It is not an easy feat to do so, especially in a Big Brother game, and lots of people failed to do so. So congratulations, you both did your best, and I am excited to vote for one of you. So I'd like to start things off with a little quick word association. I would like to know one word that you think of each juror as I name them. I'm going to run through Seb first, and then I'll run through V next. I will not say the names in the same order because I want it to kind of be a, first thought that pops into your head. All right, Seb.
Whoa.
Al.
Is it Al?
Yep.
Al. Lovely.
Cody.
Sneaky.
Joel.
A lot.
Timmy.
Strategic.
Topher.
Lovely.
Esme.
Funny.
Issa.
Wonderful.
Joanne.
Talented.
Julia.
Scary.
V, your turn. Joel.
I would say sneaky.
Cody.
Bestie.
Al.
Mysterious.
Esme.
Mother.
Joanne.
I would say legendary.
Issa.
I have can it be like multiple words at once, or it has to be like one
word,
particular
one word.
word?
One word.
Fuck, okay. My brain is like frying right now. I would say intelligent.
Timmy.
Strategic as heck.
Topher.
An icon.
All right, perfect. Thank you guys for the little quick word association game. Hopefully the jury has enjoyed that. So I am not going to come down on either of you, but I would like to give you both some advice as to some things that I feel like the jury may have thought negatively of you, to kind of give you a chance to counteract that. I don't want to take up all of the time, so don't go into depth here, but just keep it in the back of your mind. Seb, one of the things that the jury had said was a negative for you was that your reads were off. Up until including taking out Cody, who you probably would have beaten 7-0. And now you've got like a 50-50 shot. So briefly, what would you say against your reading ability in this game to know what's going on?
Of course. So I can admit that my read of Cody was incorrect. I did not want to become the Cody Calafiori and take my closest ally and win. I thought that Cody was super strategic, and I think V can agree with that. That behind the scenes, we saw a lot more of Cody's game than the jury. That being said, there's a lot of things I downplayed in this game. I think me telling everyone that I thought Joanne was the vote against Joel was something that I pushed as an excuse. I knew for a fact that Issa was the person who voted that way. When I sat there and I said, "Oh my God, Julia voted me out," like I would have never expected that. Like I knew Julia was the one that voted me out. Sitting there in the first 3 rounds and saying, "Oh my God, I have no chance of getting past this. I have no way of getting through this." When I knew I had connections within the 11, and Esme even touched on it, like there were people actively disputing this. But I just let it happen because I knew that people were just gonna like there. I had connections. I didn't need to keep fighting to say, "Oh my God, like I have people, guys, I promise." Like it just I didn't need to. There were a lot of things that I like embellished a lot so that I can either push it, like for example, with Joanne pushing her name, and then when she comes back to me, "Oh, well, I thought you were the person who voted Joel," you know? But I think that in regards to Cody, I can acknowledge that either way, I felt I had a chance of beating both of them. I chose the wrong person, but I still believe that I played a better game.
All right. And V, for you, a lot was said over that when things did not go your way, you did not handle it very well. And when things did go your way, it almost came across as arrogant in the way in which you would speak to people. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I definitely think the main talking point about that is when Esme went and when you went. I was very mad, to say the least, that people were going to vote you because they had been telling me that they were fine voting Issa. And I definitely think, similar to how Seb, when he was in jail, kind of shifted his game around, I want to do the same thing as well. Because I think early on in the game, I was doing fine. I definitely wasn't like really trying to run things. Obviously, I went really hard the round I got nominated because I knew I had to, because Jennifer, John, and Jonathan, they had a lot of pull in the game. I needed to expose what they had been doing. But I do agree, I definitely could have handled it more tactfully, especially when it came to Esme, because I did especially later on, was more mad, I guess, especially to Timmy and Seb specifically, about Esme going. And I really wish I gave my opinion more so during that moment. But the main situation definitely was with you and Issa. And for me, it never came from a place of arrogance. I think when things were going right, I had to keep my own head in that mindset, because for a lot of this game, I had been very insecure. Seb can say that, Cody can say that. I've been talking to a lot about them, how I've been very like insecure about my chances, how I've been playing, and that has a lot to do with a lot of IRL situations going on. And I just knew that I needed to focus on getting to the end, getting to this point, having a goal in mind on what to do it with. And I've been able to do it. I'm very proud of what I did. I definitely didn't want to go in a negative way, I guess. And at least I'm just happy that I've been able to pull off the things I have been able to pull off. It definitely never came from a point of arrogance or having a big ego. Definitely don't have that. But I understand why it came across that way, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you both so much. Just keep these things in the back of your minds as you own your games throughout this whole thing. I appreciate both of you. I have no ill will towards either of you, so good luck.
Thank you very much, Topher. Please head over to the breakout room. And in the meantime, at some point between Topher leaving the main session and going to the breakout room, we may or may not see a juror come in, at least like it kind of like in the middle of what I'm saying right now. We don't know exactly when that juror will be making their way into the main session here, but we're gonna see very shortly if we're keeping up with the order that we have been like chronological jurors, because technically they could be rearranged in a way because if someone is not here. So, Al, why the fuck aren't you here? Where are you? There they are. Wonderful. Actually, oh my gosh. Oh my
I
goodness.
forgot how to work Zoom. I'm so sorry.
Nah,
I
don't
was
be
like,
sorry.
how do I leave? How do I leave? But I'm here. Hello.
Your time starts whenever you start talking.
Awesome. Hi, friends. Just before we start anything, shut up about throwing challenges because I could say that I threw every challenge I lost. Um, that was so aggressive. Um, I don't care, and I don't think any of the jurors care that you threw a challenge. Because one, there's really no way to prove it other than like saying in like showing screenshots of your prod chat from like 3 hours before the challenge being like, I'm gonna lose this. And it just kind of feels like a weird flex that doesn't actually mean anything. Um, oh fuck my notes. Okay. Hmm. Seb, when Topher asked for words, you used the word lovely twice. One of them was for me, and one of them was, I think, for Topher. I didn't actually pay attention to the hoop. So that was weird. I'm not actually gonna have you say anything about that, but just that's how that went. Um, I would like to know for each of your HOHs, I want your no BS, no, like, I'm telling you why I'm gonna put you. Tell me why you nominated everybody when you did, um, and why you think that was best for your game. Because yes, you've made it to the end, but that doesn't mean that all of your decisions were good decisions. So
Of course, yeah. So for Jonathan, he didn't fucking speak to me. And not to use language, I apologize, but he just didn't speak to me. I also knew he was at the top of the totem pole with a lot of people. And ultimately, you're not speaking with me. I'm being, a lot of people are pushing this, 11-4, 11-3. And, I only have so many connections within there to get out of that. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take a shot at the top. And if the top does, and like, if the top falls, maybe they will fall. I put up John because he's connected with Jonathan in one way or another. Based on our conversations I had with John, it was that way where he constantly would glaze Jonathan and Jennifer and be like, no, these are the people you need to trust, Seb. These are the people. And it's like, okay, well, they're not giving me that information the way you're giving me that information. So I was always going to nominate a combination of Jennifer, Jonathan, Jom, or V, just because I did have good talks with V at that point, but like I knew V had some trust in them that other people did not. And like I said, shooting at the top or at least towards the top would have assisted me. When it came to Joel and Joanne, Joanne evicted me, and never really gave me never really gave me that reason to rebuild the bridge. I put Joel up because I just could not trust anything he said at that point, and I would rather keep the people I trust versus the people I don't. I evicted Joanne because she was close to Timmy and Issa, and keeping Joel in the game would at least give me a 4-2 in comparison to a 3-3. And then I evicted Cody. Obviously, it seemed to be the wrong choice based on what Topher said, but based on what I know, speaking to Cody all game, I know his strategic game was a lot stronger than both me and V's. And I know that my social game was
I'm
good.
going to pause you there because I want to give V time,
Yeah, of
and
course.
the jury spent an hour talking about how Cody didn't have a game or something. So I don't need. Okay, V, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. First HOH was very simple. We had a lot of drama with the John Jennifer situation. I wanted an easy week, but also I wanted to not be the one to take the shot at Jennifer. If I take the shot at Jennifer, that means the game is open again. Anything can happen. And I wanted other people to take the shot. For example, when you put up Esme, I didn't want to be the one to have to do that. I didn't want to have to be the one to take out Jennifer because then my threat level increases a shit ton, and I would have gone sooner rather than later. So by getting rid of Issa or Topher, who at that point were still somewhat pushed with that 3, despite that already having completely been dispelled, I didn't have any real game connections with them. We did not strategize together, so I did generally not mind at that moment which of them went. Then my second HOH, Deja Vu. For both same reasons again, I didn't have a full game connection again with them. I know Issa didn't want to nominate me to try and rebuild that during their HOH. However, for me, I wanted to prioritize my lines with Seb, Cody, and Timmy. Obviously, mistake in the end, because Timmy turned on that the moment after he could. However, when I did that, it was a situation of just not having a lot of time. Holidays was not easy to get everyone's conversations in, to get everyone's opinions in. And so you just had to quickly be like, let's do this, let's do this. Everyone okay? Good, let's do it. And during my third HOH, when I nominated Timmy and Issa, I needed to get one of them out. We had just gotten rid of Joanne, who we knew was with them. And when Timmy voted to keep Issa, we knew that the information that Joel gave us was at least somewhat true, because otherwise Timmy would have voted to keep Seb. So I needed to make sure that in a situation where if Timmy won veto or Issa won veto, they could not save the other, and I would not lose my key players to get me to final two now, which is why I let Issa go or Timmy go in that moment, despite both of them pitching that they would want me deep into this game.
Awesome. So that third one, great. The first two tracks. I was hoping maybe there was like a little strategy other than I don't want to make anybody upset because then they're going to think I'm a threat because it's like plenty of, and I'm not saying that this is what you did, but it is so much easier to make it to the end of the game by doing nothing of substance than it is to like do things and then get like it. I'm not, again, not saying that's what you did, but like when you have power and you choose not to do anything with that power, it is kind of frustrating because then people who really shouldn't have power, like me, end up having to do things that move the game forward because the game's not being moved forward by other people. But yeah, basically the reason I asked the question is to understand these first two, and Seb, because you just kind of like reheated my nachos. Like couldn't even come up with your own nom set, had to steal mine. Not only did you have to get the votes to over me, you had to steal my nom set. Anyway, this has been a blast. You've already used that picture of Alex, which is a shame, but I'm gonna leave now. Yeah, Jacob, I can see the timer in the corner. I'm a power grab person. I know how the fucking timer works. I'm leaving. I'm going. Bye. Good luck. How do I get out of here?
I just did it as a precaution. Like I check the fucking thing and I'm like I don't see it on the live stream, so I'm just like for the viewers at the very least, or if you got wonderful Julia! Oh my gosh, the fun time I don't mention anything leading up to a juror coming in. Finally, juror comes in. Hey Julia, how's it going?
Hey,
Timer starts whenever you start talking.
um, I was typing notes out to Cody who can't be here and kind of blacked out and haven't fully prepped what I want to say yet. First of all, congrats to both of you. Very exciting. You should both be very proud of yourselves. You both played good games and have great shots to win. Seb, why'd you call me scary?
Because you are.
Can you elaborate, please?
Yeah, of course. I feel
Okay.
like you are a really strong player. I think that you had connections in this game that I just didn't. I think like for me, yeah, I was working with V, but it was very apparent that V was closer to you, which when you build a whole alliance and you want to go far with that alliance, and then that person says, "Hey, I'm actually closer to Julia," it's scary, you know. I also think that like I just like at a certain point, I knew that going into the game, V's loyalty would be to you and not to me. Maybe to Cody, but not to me. And I think that I say scary because we had such good talks in the beginning of the game. I just think that once the Topher round happened, a lot of trust was lost in us, and there was no way that it was going to keep going. So I say scary because fact is, if you did survive a couple more rounds, I don't see myself here. I see you here.
That's a good answer. Thank you. V, I think something that the jury is having a really hard time grappling with you and how you played the game is intention. It seems like there are some points where you may have walked like ass backwards into like a good spot for you. And I want to know what moments in this game you approached with intention that on the surface could seem like it was dumb luck, like you just made the wrong decision and end up working out?
Um, I think that is honestly the eviction that you went. Because the votes were there to keep you. Joel, Cody, and I, we had discussed this. If we trusted Joel, you were staying. However, I have been pushing us to our relationship way more than myself and Cody, myself and Seb, myself and Joel, because I knew that sitting next to you would be my only situation in that moment where I could stay. Your general threat level at that point was already huge, so was mine, but you were the only person where I could have a campaign against. So in that situation, I knew I needed to make sure that once Cody started being unsure on keeping you, because of Joel's campaign, that I needed to make sure you went. Because if you went, that not only gave more courtesy with Seb, who I had just saved, that also means, because I knew that the votes were there to get rid of Al and keep Seb. We knew of the plan that we had talked about before on people talk to Joanne, people talk to Issa or Al, sorry, and we're going to do that plan to get rid of Timmy or Seb or Cody. That was all I knew of the information there, so I needed to make sure that Seb stayed because hey, I'm sitting here now. If I didn't save Seb in that moment, I likely would not be sitting here, or at least not in a winning scenario, or in a possible winning scenario. I after this during the Joanne eviction, again, I needed to make sure that I had my people take me to the end. I knew Joel took me to the end at that point, despite us having a rocky relationship, because we just had a genuine, open conversation about everything. And the way he came over, it seemed genuine. And so at that point, we made a final four with Seb and Cody, got to final four, and I knew at that point that if I was the one to take out Joel, my threat level would increase a shit ton again. If I was the one to make the decision at final three, I don't know what I would have made because I would have left it next to Cody or next to Seb. I think both of them are great. I think I had a chance against both. I think all three of us had a chance against both.
I'm just gonna cut you off.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to
Yeah, don't worry.
spend
That was
all my
I was
time.
finishing off.
I'm gonna ask you another question. I just want a yes or no. If Al had said in their eviction speech, V or the deciding vote, which way were you voting? Just quick yes or no answer. Give me an answer. Were you voting?
I was
Like,
voting
were
to
you
keep
voting
Seb.
Seb? Like you were
I was
voting
voting.
keep.
I was voting to keep Seb.
Okay, thank you. Seb. Trying to think of a because I want to ask you a question. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I want you to ask a question that's not about me. What do you think was your most important relationship to getting here and why?
I think that for me personally, my most important relationship to get here was Cody. Cody was never targeted, and for points of the game, because of this duo that kept getting pushed in the game between me and him, it was a lot easier for me to stick with him. As you know, we had that group made week one, me, you, and him. And I think that once Cody had leaked that alliance to V, I had to make a decision, say, okay, I still obviously want to have great connections with both of you, but there's someone I need to run with. And at that point, I decided it was going to be Cody because we had made that alliance. As we continue to go on and on, Cody is someone I could just bounce ideas off. Cody was the one at Final 7 to say, I won't tie this vote if you don't want the vote to tie. And I said, tie the vote. And the vote tied. In which from there, I was able to make my moves. A lot of moves I made were in tandem with Cody. But the issue is that because, as V mentioned, a lot of people didn't want to make the moves these games. After I got evicted or after I got nominated at Final 9, I decided that it was my time to start making big, bold moves. No matter if I left at 4th, 3rd, to 7th, we figured it out. Fuck it, we ball,
Fuck it, we ball is correct. All right, thank you both. Keep doing your thing. Be honest, be open, be passionate with what you have to say, and really own it all with conviction. Good luck to you both. I can't wait to see who wins.
So this is actually relevant. Someone has requested to be pushed further back in the order. And so then we would go to the sixth placer. However, the sixth placer isn't currently here, so we can't do the sixth placer yet. So now we're going to,
Due to
unless
outside circumstances.
due to outside circumstances, which like we're not gonna, whatever, it's not their business. But we are going to go over to our fifth placer instead. Oh, I guess we're doing I did all that lead. I thought you were gonna go later. Okay, well,
I know I was, and now I'm here.
Put
Made
you
it
in.
home in time.
I'll start the time whenever you start.
Okay, hello y'all. Congrats. Good to see you. I don't really know what to ask to be honest, just because I feel like a lot of it is kind of the same. But I guess I'll start off with Seb since like our turning point in the game was a big part of your game. Like that was a big move for you. And I heard you mention like that you said you knew Issa was the vote to evict Joel. So why did you like fabricate that you thought I was?
Because at that point, as I mentioned earlier, I was trying to play a more passive game. I will be very honest, I felt a lot more confident in my spot in Final Nine that I felt, okay, Joel had just promised me safety the round, like 2 days prior. Why would Joel go and, spread this information? Joel tells you right away, I need to find a way to say, okay, if I have even the semblance of a chance to convince you, it's going to be playing dumb. Because as mentioned before, there were things that I was already playing dumb about earlier in the season. So to say, oh, I thought you were the one vote. Like, I thought you were pushing for Esme to stay. Like, and did it work? Maybe not. But, it's better than just being like, because at that point I trying to play passive. Final Nine happened. I survived the block. I go to jail. He gives me more time to say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go balls to the wall. I'm going to be a lot more forward with my gameplay. And so like, that's just an example of like me just like at the time playing passively and being like, no, Joanne, like, why would I ever push you under the bus? Like, why would I ever say that about you?
Yeah. I thought it was creative to come up with something like that, but it was also like I didn't believe it because I knew you were smarter than that. So good effort. Um, and why did you think it was better to keep Joel in the game when, well, I guess you kind of answered that. You said you thought he was more of a shield than me at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, he touched on to me, like he was so ready to give me information. Did I trust that was all correct? No, but I knew for a fact that some of it was because he was telling V the same information. He was telling Cody the same information. I knew that if he stayed going into live night, it'd be 4-2. Thinking about live night, if live night stays exactly the same, so let's say V wins HOH, puts up Issa and Timmy on hypothetical, I get put as the Renum, I get evicted. You're not saving me over Issa. Joel will save me over Issa. Joel is a threat. At Final 5, Timmy, V, and Cody at one point or another pushed to me that Joel was the bigger threat. And I just said, okay,
Yeah.
like, that's your opinion. My opinion is that Joel could go at 4th.
Okay. Thank you. The jury would love to know, including me, did you say true or false? You said I would be a renom when you were
No.
HOH.
No, so the situation that happened is during my first HOH, I was like, if no one volunteers, it's probably between Jennifer and Joanne, but I'm doing Jennifer. Those are my exact words. Not at one situation did I actively want you on the block, did I actively want you out of this until when I did. I don't know where this comes from. Because like
Okay.
I then every HOH following and every vote following, I then wanted to prove to you that you could trust me and that I did have your back because I knew that you didn't trust me because of it and that you weren't sure about me. When this is something that I still don't know where it comes from.
The jury might disagree with that answer, but I will continue. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. Shoot, I'm sorry. Oh, very, very quick. I want to hear why. I want to hear something that you think the other player did better than you in this game. So, Seb, what is something V did better than you? V, what is something Seb did better than you?
I think that based on the position that V was in, where towards the mid jury, a lot of people had V's name on their mouth, V did a good job of either escaping that or winning veto.
Okay, V.
I think in general, Seb had far more active control when he had power. I think all the time when I had my power, I didn't always use it to its fullest potential. What I think Seb, even with his first HOH, did. And I think that is honestly the main thing that I do regret. I could have been more proactive at times, and I was more proactive during non-HOH times, but I think Seb really did use his HOH to the best of his abilities. Like I would be lying to say if I didn't agree that Cody played an incredible game, and I think both of us were incredibly shocked that like Seb would have won like 7-0 to Cody, because both of us really assumed he was a big threat. So I definitely think he was more proactive with his HOHs and used them more to their full potential.
Okay. I feel like I had something else to say, but the time is running out. It's been fun to play with you guys, and best of luck. Okay.
Are you conceding your time?
I can't think of what I was gonna say. I'm waiting to see if it comes to me, but there's only 30 seconds, so I guess so.
Thank you so much, Joanne. Please head off to the breakout room.
How do I do that? Let me see. How do I?
For those of you who care, I have switched to vodka for my wine.
For those of you who care, I have water.
How do I go to the breakout room on mobile?
Carefully. I actually don't know. There should be a blue button somewhere.
Oh, join breakout room. Got
Yeah,
it.
it's like it should be at like the top
Bye.
corner. Also, for me, it's sponsored by Pepsi.
Then I think now is gonna be.
Now it's gonna be the fifth place. Yeah, it's finally. It was that time.
Timmy, I don't know if you heard.
Oh,
but
it was the last thing I heard, Heather. I got excited.
I was like, Timmy's the one who was keeping up, so.
Timmy's favorite thing in this world is drunk Heather. And this is not part of my time. I just
know.
know that.
This is exactly part of your time.
Sorry.
Take the
I'm
7
gonna
minutes.
go second to Minor because he might be watching this. If he's not watching it, you're number one.
I won't tell Minor. It's fine. This isn't being live streamed.
Let's see if he walks in, you know? Okay, I'm ready.
Your time starts whenever you start talking. For real this time.
Okay. Told the jury I would say along because I don't know what I'm gonna ask. Because do I ever? Absolutely not. Y'all have said words tonight. Do I agree with some of the words? Sure. Do I disagree with a lot of the words? Also sure. I'm gonna start with V. My question, because I might as well get the tough one out of the way first. I said I didn't prepare. I did write it down. I wasn't sure I was gonna go with it, but at this point I'm going with it. V. Honestly, at times of this game, you came off as abrasive, aggressive, and rude. There's times in the game where I love that, times in the game where I hate that. How do you feel that translates into asking a jury for their vote?
As I said before, I genuinely would like examples if that can be given. There is the person as the person and there's the person as the game. I feel like I played a fucking killer game. As Seb said before, I was in a situation where everyone was ready to vote me out twice, and I was able to escape that twice. I am still sitting here in a situation that a lot of people have not had the chance to do it. I've not been able to do that in 3 years. So if you respect the game, vote for the best game. If you think that's Seb, vote Seb. If you think that's me, vote me. However, I also know that usually where bitterness comes from in juries, it is from those personal connections and those personal situations that happen. I never personally thought that I was in that way, but I understand how my personality can come out that way. I have always been 100% me. I've always wanted to be 100% me. And sometimes that is just being the straight up bitch and saying it straight to your face. What I mean and what I think and and my emotions. And I would rather have been 100% honest with my emotions, how I felt in the moment, so we can move forward with that, than act fake to your face and then later on use it against you or be mad at you or do other things. And I understand how that can not come over the best on your end and on the jury's end. However, I feel like it wouldn't have been true to myself if I was being nice to your face, for example, when HOH nominated me. That would not have been me. If I was being nice to everyone's face when they voted Topher, that would not have been me. If I wanted to stay me, then I felt like I needed to be honest with my emotions, to be straight up with y'all and be like, this is how I feel. I'm not happy with this, and understand how that can come over in a negative light.
Okay, I can give specific examples after this is all done, because they're there. They're definitely there, and I'd rather let you sit on them first.
Genuinely, please do. Genuinely, please do.
No, of course. No, personal level V, we're fine. So don't worry. Seb. Hi. So what votes do you feel you were a part of leading and or fully leading the charge on?
Of course. So I feel like I was fully leading the charge in my week 3 HOH. As V can tell you, I very much was a strong point, especially in the beginning of the day where everyone felt that they could just keep Jonathan and move on. I was an integral part of pushing for that. But as I mentioned right after that HOH, I did try to go under the radar. I stuck with our group and I went to go forward with it. I think that the Topher vote was a collaboration between me, you, and Cody, where we really pushed and made sure that Topher left that round. That being said, any vote from final 7 on was either directly me or because of me. The tie, Cody wouldn't have tied it without me. And then I built the trust with people to make sure that I could stay. Building that trust with Joel by saving him at 7 kept me safe at 6. Obviously, I'm not pushing votes hardcore when I'm on the block, but when I'm on the block, the trust I built and the bridges I don't burn helped me get further. It helped me at final 6. It helped me against you, not only because you were a big threat, but also because Cody and V had that trust in me. And Cody had the trust in me to give me the power at final 4, and I took it. Cody put trust in me to throw the first part of the HOH, which led me to win the final HOH and take out Cody, which we know not the right shot, blah blah blah. But those are yeah, of course.
Stop saying it's not the right shot. You don't know if it's the right shot yet. Might have been easier, but you don't know if it was right or wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Also, Seb, move out of the way for a second. Thank you. And one final question. I just want an answer. I do not want an explanation with it. Same question for both of you. If you could, and I'm gonna have V go first on this one. Just because. If you could write a book about your game, what would the title be? Again, no explanation, just the title.
Oh God. Honestly, it's kind of cheesy, but The Fight for Europe.
Seb?
You know me, rock and roller coaster.
You know, I thought you were going to say, you know me, I'm Gina Marie.
That's
Um,
great.
when you just did that, I was like, oh no. Well, that's not my time yet, but I'm done. Um, Good luck to both of y'all. We'll see what happens. And to the breakout room I go.
Thank you very much, Timmy. Just as I was about to go off camera and just be like, this is how much time you have. Timmy's like, I'm not gonna use it. It's like, oh.
Heather, can I ask if you've already drank a glass of one of those, or if that's your first?
No, I drank a glass of wine before the vodka.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm not crazy.
But speak crazy. I was crazy once. They left me in a room, a breakout room with Joel. Why is Joel still in it? Because I already left it. Joel, get over here.
Also, Alex.
Yay, Joel's over here.
Joining too. Yay. We have all of Prod here.
I'll be hopping on in a bit.
What's going on, Joel?
Hi. Hiya.
Start talking.
I'm ready when you are.
Time starts whenever you start talking, my boy.
Okie dokie. So, congrats to the both of you. First, I just want to address both of you before. I haven't really thought of questions. The one question I did think of, Joanne, took from me, not on purpose, but she took it from me. So I'll start with V. V, the issue I have with at the moment with a lot of the things you're saying is that these things that you're saying look good on paper, but some of the stuff we just simply don't believe as jury. We don't believe that you've thrown some of these competitions because of the way you presented yourself in the game. You wanted to break records at Final 10 when you were like standing up there. You were like, I'm breaking records, guys. Like, it's just not part of the personality that we've seen in the game. So my suggestion, because we're hitting near the end, is just cut the crap. What are the things that we believe in? Try and distinguish that and try and let us know. Like some of the stuff you said about the round where Jonathan went home, I believe that. You throwing competitions at the end game, I don't believe it personally. You might say otherwise, but we can't prove that. And you need to show us things that we can prove. Seb, I think the thing that I'm quite liking some of the answers that you're presenting to the table. But I do think the issue that we have with your game at the moment is just simply some of the missteps that you might have took, especially when, in my opinion, you are very much preached, like you, and lying's part of the game of Big Brother, right? You preach honesty, 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 and obviously we now see that you hit the final two. You weren't exactly the most honest person on the planet, not even to me. So first of all, I want to ask Seb, so there's nothing wrong with lying, right? But how did you weaponize honesty to your advantage in the game?
Of course. So in the beginning of the game, as you know, as you're now sitting here, not first boot, I did not vote correctly. Shocker, I know, right? But we had that conversation where we were like, you were basically like, if you flip now, you're gonna look like someone who flips. And so I said, you know what? Bet. So I did. I spent most of the game up until like final 7, honestly, up until my eviction, telling everyone the fucking truth. Like there was very like small details that were thrown in there. Obviously, like I'm not, like you said, lying is inevitable. That being said, once I got out of jail, I realized that people did believe a lot of the stuff I was saying because I had been honest up until that point. Everything that I've told people prior to my eviction could be fact checked and will be correct based on other conversations they have with players, that kind of stuff. So yes, did I lie to certain people after my eviction? Yes. But you all thought that I was coming to you with this information as the same Seb prior to my nomination at Final Nine. So a lot of people did trust the words that I was saying. And so it definitely assisted me because, you sit there and you go, well, has Seb lied to me yet? The answer is probably yeah.
Okay, great. V, one thing I want to try and find out with you specifically is so I did say before I was leaving that I was rooting for you in a sense, but obviously not to say that like your lying was something that I like lying about taking me to the final two is something that I had a problem with. I don't have a problem with it, but do you think your lying went too far with certain people? And if so, why do you think that?
So for me, I never go into a game being like, I'm gonna be lying and manipulating everything. That's never the thing I want to do. I'm always gonna be very honest straight up because I don't have a reason to lie. The only situation I'm going to start lying or start misconstruing the truth or saying some white lies to benefit me is if other people have shown that I cannot trust them completely. First situation with John, Jennifer, and Jonathan. Later on, when I felt like you were being less truthful to me, I knew that I needed to just do what I had to do to get to this point. Even when it came to Seb, I was generally pushing that Cody was a bigger threat, even though I wasn't sure. I think all of us were unsure on what our chances were at that point. So like, I definitely started lying, not out of malicious intent, but to make sure that I sat here. I don't think there is necessarily a lie that I told that wasn't game related or that wasn't, oh, I'm going to take you to final two, for example. Because I did make a lot of deals with Joanne when I saved you, because at that point I was genuine on wanting to go to the end with those people. But then you gave me information that said otherwise. And it was just not a situation to clarify things. And even especially when it came to us two, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, on a personal level, would have loved to sit next to you right now. But I felt that my chances sitting next to you with a more bigger underdog story than myself or Seth combined, I knew that was not the thing that I could do. But I also did not want to be the one taking you out because I don't know if I would have been able to on the personal level. And that's why like all of the fourth round, obviously I didn't do the HOH because I was feeling sick. But like, when it came to the veto, I did not want to be responsible for you leaving this game because I just genuinely could not. I did not want that to be the case. It's why I would have felt horrible if that happened before this as well. I didn't want to lie just to lie. I never did lie to just to lie. If I did ever say a lie, it was to specifically get me to the point that I'm sitting here now. And it never was
I'm
a
going to
situation
cut
where I
you
was
there
feeling
just
happy.
because we're on less than a minute. I feel
I
like
was
I've got
cutting
what
that
I've
way.
got from you. So not I want to say even now I am still undecided. So please just make sure with these last couple of questions that you got, prove yourselves, guys. Make sure you cut any of the crap things that you've been saying already. Don't bring them up again. Bring up new things. Because you are repeating now a lot of the same points. So if you can think of anything new to pluck out of your brains, please do so, as that will do you a lot of favors in deciding where some of us will vote tonight. Thank you, and good luck to you both.
Thank you very much, Joel. And apologies to everyone. I don't know if the timer like turned off at some point. It locked me out. It was very confusing. But got that sorted out. Got the timer up on there. We're all good to go. So as we've mentioned earlier, Issa is not currently in attendance, but Issa is likely to send something. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Issa did mention that because they literally just got out of the thing that they were doing. Recently, they said they can give something real quick. We're not sure if they're going to hop on or send us something at this point. So I think as of right now, since wait, Issa is typing, so let me see what they say before I say we move on to Cody.
Good. I need a water break. Oh, Issa's sending us a video.
Issa's sending us a video, so I think we can do Cody's right now because that will give us time to send Cody responses because Cody is available by message. And then we'll show Issa's video after. If there's anything to say about that, that will be something there. So that's what we're gonna do. So cool. I love being logical while I'm drinking. It's really fun.
Want me to read what Cody said?
If you could,
I could
that'd be
do that.
great. I could do it, but I think you'd do better.
All right. I don't sound anything like Cody, but just pretend I'm Cody for a second and I'll change my name to like better immerse you guys into believing I'm Cody. All right, so hi guys, I'm Cody. Hey guys, congrats again to both of you. Like I said last night, you two did what 14 others couldn't do, which was annoy a bunch of people that you made the end because you did that and everything else. I have essentially similar questions for each of you since I think a lot of weight comes down to trying to figure out who played the most deserving game from the jury's perspective. I won't bore you with my opinion since I'm sure you'll hear a lot by now, but here are my questions. Either of you can opt to answer first if you want. Question one. If you were sitting in the end next to me, what are the odds you think you'd win and why?
I'll begin. I think it'll be 50-50. I think Cody in general played a very strong game. That I guess is not appreciated as much. And if I did end up third place, I definitely would have been one of the biggest campaigners for Cody's game. And I think Seb probably would have done the exact same thing. Because we both had seen his game from so close up from so early on. So I think it would have been a 50-50. I think a lot of the things that the jury are having issues with me personally is not necessarily my game, but more so how I came across, at least from the questions I've had so far. So it would come down to what game style do you respect and what was your relationship with Cody? And I think specifically, I think it would have been more of a 50-50. And I think Seb is going to have an easy time answering this.
So I'm going to answer how I would have felt last night, and then I'll answer how I feel right now. So last night, I genuinely did believe that Cody had the upper hand on me when it came to the strategy. I do want to apologize to you because you told me straight up in our breakout room that you personally felt that I had a better chance against you. And at the time, I felt like we were connected with a lot of the same people. And I felt that a lot of the strategic moves that I made were hand in hand with you. In like outside of the alliances. So I do think I have a good chance of winning against you. Like I knew that whatever choice I made, I was confident in it. That being said, answering tonight, I would have won unanimously. Cody, is that what you want to hear? That being said, like generally, I agree with V. I would have been campaigning for you on this jury because I think that it does kind of suck to hear that people didn't see your strategy. When I know for a fact it was there, whether it was me executing that strategy or just our game talks, I know it was there.
And second question, after reflecting on each question and response, what's one thing you would change about your game? Whether it's a decision you made, a comment said, or an action that you did. Note, if you say nothing, I'm not voting you.
I'll go first since V went first last time. I think for me, I really took and reflected like some of the very small missteps. I think especially my overconfidence at Final 10 and Final 9 were very obvious to a lot of people when I thought that, my overconfidence was just sitting in my prod chat. And I think for me personally, as Joel said, and I've been sitting on it since Cody's question and Joel's question. I just need to admit that, sometimes people lie. I sit here and say that for the most part, I was really honest in this game, but I need to, really just sink in that, I did lie to some people. I definitely did, especially post my initial nomination.
Yeah, I think for me it has a lot to do with the second HOH. Because I knew, especially with that HOH, that I was kind of going over the top, to say the least. Like Cody immediately messaged me being like, dude, what are you doing? And in that moment, I was just like so in my head of that competitiveness that is inside of me, just being like, go, let's keep going. Um, because I already felt that I was in an unsure situation, so I wanted to get that control back, and then I just completely misplayed that power that I did have. Um, Obviously, I still end up here, which I'm happy, but I definitely could have handled, especially that situation better, and then following up with Timmy's HOH, because I was very confused and frustrated in that moment. Like the moment when I saw touchy subject results, it really opened my eyes up for a lot of things where I was like, I don't understand why I was like voted outlaw. I don't understand why all of these things are coming my way because I thought I had my genuine group just as Seb thought. Like I think in a dream world, the final four have been myself, Seb, Cody, and Timmy, and we were all very loyal to that. Besides Timmy in the end, which valid, understandable. So I think for me, it came a lot from frustration, and I thought I kept that frustration with Cody and in my project, and it seemed that that was not the case. And I do regret that, and I wish that it stayed in my project and in the people that I could have, relied on in that sense to be my rock in this game, because I never wanted to have anyone feel a negative way about me. So I definitely think I definitely think the core from the problem, at least from my perspective, is around there, and I definitely wish I handled that better and differently.
Again, congrats to each of you. Thanks for asking or answering my questions, I guess. It made the
Can I
best
ask
play
a
win.
clarifying question just because I was typing out the answers to Cody while this is happening because Cody wanted the answers. V, I didn't hear which HOH you said that you
The
felt the
second
most
HOH,
frustrated. No,
the second
it was after
HOH.
that. I didn't
Oh,
know what you guys.
when Timmy won HOH and
Okay, it
nominated
was
me.
Timmy. I didn't hear the name,
Yeah.
so I wanted to make sure of that before sending that over.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, then that concludes Cody's jury questioning. He didn't say he was conceding his time at 1 minute 29 seconds, but I'm just gonna use my own production judgment here and concede the time for him, unless he wanted to sit there for an hour and 29 seconds. An hour. Fuck. Yeah. So what I'm about to do right now is that we did get something from Issa. Um, Heather, would you be able to share your screen and share what Issa
Give me a
mentioned?
moment because I downloaded it, so I'm just making sure it works.
Hi, my lovely.
Okay, it does work. So I'm gonna screen share for a quick moment, and you're gonna see Issa's lovely face. So let's see here. Can you guys see my screen? I see a nod. I'm not hearing anything, so I'm gonna take
Yes.
that as a yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm gonna play this. It's a very quick, minute long thing, so it won't take up the 7 minutes. But if it's questions, we'll see. I did not fact check this.
Yeah, Issa. You start, the timer starts whenever you start talking.
Hi, my lovelies. Okay, I did just park to do this. I will say, I feel like my mind is made up. I've been able to see like what people are saying, and it's been pretty clear to me for a while out of the two who deserves to win. Like I've been thinking about it since I left. Obviously, first I want to say congratulations to both of you. Seb and V. Who would have seen this coming? I don't know. But you know what? Shit happens, and it's you two up there. So congratulations first and foremost. But also, fuck both of you. Also, fuck both of you. I do feel like you both played a very good game in different respects. V, you obviously were a comp beast. And Seb, you played the long game really well socially. I don't have any questions. I just want to say, like, my heart is set. I feel like there's not much else I can say. It's going to be a pleasure to talk to you both after the game's over. I will kill you both next time I see you in person. You're both dead, so obscenely dead, and I hate both of you forever. But it's also been such an insane pleasure, and honestly, I'm not too upset with these final two. I'm really not. So, I'm wishing you both a lovely rest of your finale, because I cannot be there. Fuck both of you. In my heart, I know who deserves to win, and I feel like by saying that, you should both know kind of the vibe of who I'm voting for. But like I said, it's been a pleasure. Fuck both of you. I hate both of your guts forever and ever and ever. I do hope we do more orgs in the future. And anyone else listening and watching, mwah, love you all. And good luck to you both.
I think that's a great way to end it, is Issa cussing both of you out.
I think there's lots of mixed signals. But with that being said,
I love that.
every juror has gone so far. Now is the time for the closing speeches. As we have prefaced at the beginning of the finale, we're going to do the inverse. So V, you're first up with final statements. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Timer starts.
From the moment I started off this game, I have been wanting to prove a lot to myself. Ever since I joined this side of the community, I've underperformed to say the least. I haven't made a deep run in 3 years, and I started to get very unsure and insecure in myself. Not only due to a lot of idle situations that I've talked to you guys about, but also in a game sense, I was very unsure and not sure what I was capable of anymore. I'm very proud of the game I played. I don't have any direct regrets of the game I played. I got my cards dealt. I used the cards that I got given, and I played what I could. I think that from early on, I had multiple opportunities where I had my back against the wall, and I overcame them. No one in this game can say that. I could have easily been 14th place, but I fought my way here. Seb said that he was one of the big people to fight for me. Seb was there 2 hours before the vote. I was there from in the morning, immediately fighting, having calls with everyone the whole day. When Timmy nominated me, I fought my way into the veto, where I had near perfect score. And I knew that I needed to set myself up for the game further. But even before that, I was already planning a backup plan with Julie and Joel to have them take the shot at Timmy and Seb, who I thought were threats to my game, to get to this point. Obviously, when I saved Seb, I did that to make sure that those two sides were still there, and the cards fell where they did, and I had to pivot. I pivoted to wanting to sit here with Cody, who I from very early on thought was one of the biggest competitions, but I also knew he was giving me the outs to everything. Every single round, he gave me the information of what was happening. Every single round, we were swing votes together, besides when I was HOH, obviously. Every single round, we helped decide what would happen. I had always been in the know of what was going on because I was actively there fighting from 1 p.m. my time to 7 a.m. in the morning, being there for every single live night challenge, being there for every game night that we did, making those connections that I could, and giving my all emotionally, physically, and mentally. I don't envy the position you guys are in. I think Seb played a killer game. However, I think that the game I played deserves the win. And I hope that you are willing to give that to me. I want to finish off with another quote. The heart is the chief thing in a fight, not the weapon. I have given all of my heart in this game. Not one opportunity did I let lay and not take. When I could, I swung. And it didn't always hit. But in the end game, I knew that I had to do what I could to get to this point. I had connection with Cody that kept me safe. I had connection with Joel that kept me safe because at Final Five, Joel was saying he wanted me here. And he was never even nominated me. At Final Five was completely safe. At Final Four, I knew the only situation where I got voted out is if I was sitting next to Cody, because Joel took out Seb and everyone else took out Joel. And at Final Three, I knew the odds were there that I was already at Final Two. Both Seb was saying and Cody were saying I was sitting here. I paved the path for me to get to this point. No one else did. I used every opportunity I had to make sure that I'm sitting here in front of you guys pitching my case. So all I can ask is, please vote for the game that you genuinely think is the best. If that's me, I understand that, and I love that. I would love to win. If that is Seb, I also respect your decision no matter what. This season has been genuinely incredible. I've loved meeting all of you. I think I cannot wait to go to Disney with like Seb, Julia, and all the other people in Orlando next year in December. I cannot wait to meet all of you guys, possibly when I visit the US next time, and play other games with you guys. And I cannot wait to talk after this season. So, love all of you. And as I always end up my video confessionals, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you very much, V, for your closing statement. I'll swap over. Seb, are you ready?
I'm as ready as I can be. Yeehaw.
Timer starts when to start talking.
All right. So, like V, I'm actually going to start my closing speech with a couple of quotes. I really want to start with me agreeing exactly with what Issa said. I played this game for the long run. There were times where I was passive. There was times where I went so under the radar that you guys are questioning it. There was times that I literally made myself the face of the moves. I held 3 people's fates in my hand this season, not by, oh, they forced me to. I told Cody to tie that vote. I got Cody to give me that position at the Final Four. I won the final head of household. And I know some of you might think this was the wrong move, but I genuinely believe that I deserve this win. I'm also going to quote Timmy when he got evicted this season. He said, there are going to be big players. I'm paraphrasing. There are going to be big players, but watch out for the people in the shadows. I was in the shadows. There are points you guys don't know my game. And that's because I chose that time to reinforce my connections with people. When Topher came back in, I immediately head dove to that. Joel is someone who I put a lot of trust in that final 9. Was it a mistake? Yes. But I was able to pick those pieces up, rebuild the bridge. It's not about voting the wrong way or making the wrong move. It's about how you rebuttal that move. When I survived that final 9, I took that time and I said, fuck it. I am going to be the most bold person you can even imagine. Final 7, I took the fate into, or Final 7, I took the fate into my own hands. Final 6, I sat on the block and I knew for a fact I was not going home. At Final 5, I sat on the block and I know for a fact that I was not going home. And there was a plan that me and Cody had to take out V, and I said, no, that's not happening. V is someone that we're taking to Final 3. Because I knew for a fact, I made the decision to take V the day of. Honestly, the hour before the comp. But I do genuinely believe that V would take me to the end. Because V feels that they have a better shot against me. And that might be a bad read on both of our parts with Cody. But I genuinely believe that I played this game day in, day out. I fought my ass off when I had to. And I built those connections with almost each and every single one of you. Now, there were times when that lacked, and I understand that, but you cannot sit here, or you can sit here and think back and say, there was a time in this game where I wanted Seb in this game. Because I know for a fact that you were not spending the whole game saying that Seb needs to go. I survived Final 9. I survived the 11v4 war. I blew that shit out of the water. Every HOH that I won in this game, I did something to better further my game. And yes, there are a lot of time that I played passive and I decided that I didn't need to win. The comps, yes. And that was, for the most part, good till Final Nine. I took Saloon reference, I took the bulls by the horns and I ran that bull into the China shop at the week 3 HOH. I took that bull and I created chaos and I created a path straight forward. At Final 5, they all should be taking me. Not like, oh, they confirmed it. They should be, because as the jury sees, I look like the lower threat. That's why when Timmy says there's people in the shadows, he was referring to me, hopefully, because I sat there in the shadows for the longest time in the early jury phase. But I walked right in. I picked myself up. Like I said, it's not about what you do wrong or who you vote incorrectly, which, by the way, I voted correctly in every vote except for the first one. It's how you rebuttal. And I took that game. I played the long game, and I'm sitting here right now confident that I could have beaten either V or Cody at the end. I want to thank you for your time, but please remember that when it comes to this game, you got to think about the person who really took that power and ran with it. Yeehaw, Saloon, yippee-ki-yay. Thank you so much.
All right. You can come back on. Seb, V, your job here tonight is over. You've given your opening and your closing statements. You have confronted and answered everything that the jury threw at you. And now the power moves from you over onto the jury. Everyone who's tuning in, thank you so much for watching Saloon Showdown this season. This has been an incredibly fun time, a very unpredictable season. The jurors, please cast your votes for Seb or V to win Hypnotic Big Brother Saloon Showdown. Once you send that in, please trickle in on here. We will also be inviting the pre-jurors into here, and then we'll get back to Alex reading the votes.
And I have been drinking for you guys, if you guys couldn't tell.
I'll do my quick shout outs now. I had to copy and paste this. Shout out to OK Just Asking. This chat has been alive for over 24 hours. No clue on the direction of this why. Shout out to all the other alliances I had this season. Shout out to can't believe we secured an HOH 4 minutes. Shout out to Fred. You were in my prod chat at the beginning of the season. Shout out to Cam, who came into my prod chat and it was really helpful. I cannot stress enough. Shout out to Grace, literally the rock. I literally don't know why I still play orgs, and I think it's because of you. And just thank you to everyone. Yeehaw.
Yeah, I've been giving it the whole time. Shout out to Sanam, last season's winner. Love you so much. You know how much you mean to me in this community as well. And especially shout out to Mira. You've been there for me since day one in my broad chat, even now during this, wishing me luck. I love you to death. Hope you're watching, and hopefully good luck in Protagonist. And specifically as well, thank you, production. Alex, who convinced me to do this despite me going on a trip to fucking Orlando. You guys have absolutely smashed this season. It's been so much fun. I have been very unsure if I should also continue playing orgs and just rely on hosting. And here we are. So genuinely, thank you to everyone. I think you guys have killed it. And I cannot wait to watch future seasons.
Shout out to Mike Jones, because he's now asking me for a shout out.
Is that a job?
Also, shout out to you, Seb, as well. I love you.
Shout out to you, V. No matter what happens.
Is that a job sighting?
Oh my God! Wait,
Who's
Seb, we
big?
forgot to say something. Seb, we forgot to say something.
Oh,
John
John
was right. The fans
John
alliance.
was right. John was right.
What was I right about?
Well, the
You said
fans
the
made it to the end. Our fans
Yeah, you said the
alliance.
fans
of 8.
alliance. God, I've missed seeing some of you guys so much. It's insane.
Jump!
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 My God, it's a Jom sighting.
Hey.
Oh my god.
Jennifer's just right there. I'm also excited to see her too.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
so
not
happy to see
Jennifer.
all
But
of
like,
you.
yes, Jennifer, icon queen.
I'm on my phone, so I
Um,
couldn't see both of you at the same
That
time.
I didn't see
Okay,
Jennifer. I
okay,
only see bitch. Is that what it says?
Julia, look who's
Oh.
here.
I still haven't voted yet, guys. Give me a second.
I
Hold
forgot that I
on.
changed
Hold
my
on.
thing to bitch.
Why is Alex on a different screen than me? He could literally come into the other room.
Wait, I'm gonna switch to my laptop.
This is awkward.
Jennifer, John, think about how our final four went
I
out
can't.
back to
Do
back.
you want me out there? I don't.
Shout out to the guy who does all the dances that looks like Alex that I was sending into the house chat each day. He makes me happy.
Oh, same Al. I also just got that invite.
But I feel like crap because I didn't get that invite.
Yeah,
I got
Also,
like
I should-
the
Okay, I guess I'm.
Oh.
Okay, I guess I'm coming back out there. Give me a sec.
Wait, I'm trying to switch to my laptop.
Whichever
Someone-
one is mad, Fred told me who to vote for. So you can blame him.
God.
The thing is, I don't think that extends anything because Fred got kicked out of the broad chat.
You missed. Yeah, I was gonna say you missed my Fred shout out.
A woman letting a man tell her how to vote.
I mean, if that's what America wants right now.
You're not wrong, Esme.
My project guest has asked me to shout out Payne Brother.
Oh yeah, shout out to Mythos. Go apply. Applications going now. Woohoo.
What if you just cast this whole cast and then one other person?
Honestly.
Please.
Julia writing that and wearing red. Oh my god.
You will not be catching me in an org for a long time.
Not real.
I already played a second org, well, in jury.
Oh my
Esme was
god.
like, I'm done. Injury, never mind, I'm not done.
That game started and ended while I was already. So it's a very quick game. I got 6th. The night Issa went home, I got 6 as well. It was
Ooh.
No, the
Meeting
non-binary
years, no.
crimes. Oh my god, Timmy's background, I love it.
I love it. That's crazy though.
Cody's here in spirit.
I don't need no leave rule.
Where's the correct background? Wicked Witch.
Guys.
Madam
Alex is
Miracle,
here.
flip it around.
Alex is here. Oh my god.
All right, everybody. We have the votes. Before we get into the reading of the votes, I will just say thank you all so much for making this season an incredibly fun time for us to host and just to watch you guys play. For our returnees, I don't know why you agreed to do this again, but we do appreciate it very much because you guys were favorites for a reason, and I think you proved why. And for our fans, our new players, you guys absolutely brought it this season, and we've absolutely loved having each and every one of you. And who knows, fans whose favorites too, maybe some, I don't know. I'm just saying. We have no plans for that, but but it's lovely to know we have material from our fans. With that,
We plan the seasons ahead of time.
you think we have plans and stuff?
Crazy.
Okay, but that being said, the season cannot be complete without a winner. We do have the votes, and it's time to crown our 6th winner of Hypnotic Big Brother. So let's get to it. Cody has casted his vote for V. Joel has cast his vote for Seb. That's 1 vote V, 1 vote Seb. Timmy has casted his vote for Seb. Issa has casted their vote for Seb. That is 3 votes for Seb, 1 vote for V. Joanne has casted her vote for Seb. That is 4 votes for Seb, 1 vote for V. Julia has casted her vote for V. That is 2 votes V, 1 vote Seb. Al has casted their vote for the winner of Hypnotic Big Brother Season 6, Seb. Seb, congratulations. All the remaining votes are yours as well. By a vote of 7-2, you are the winner of Hypnotic Big Brother Saloon Showdown, fans versus favorites.
I love you, Sab.
Oh, I love you too, V. God, you know, at Final 9, Joel called me emotional. I'm joking, but goodness, I am crying right now. Thank you guys so much for the jury votes. This has been a fantastic game. Timmy knows that at Final 9, I balled in his one-on-one with him because I wanted this more than anything. And I cannot thank you all enough. This has truly been one of the most fun games I've ever played. Every game night, every game call, every, house call has just been fantastic. I appreciate you all. Please don't be strangers, except if you didn't vote me. Just kidding. But I don't know what to say. I'm just going to shut up. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Julia dropped his house.
Congratulations, Seb, once again. V as well, second place. Obviously, not the ideal placement in the finale, but second place is nothing to be ashamed of.
At least it wasn't unanimous, so thank you, Cody and Julia.
Two votes to win. There you go.
As Seb said, this game was genuinely incredible. I've loved meeting all of you so much. Like playing this game with Cody again, who was my rock in the previous game, and just having the opportunity again, having the opportunity to actually play with you, Jennifer, was amazing. Meeting you, Julia, meeting you, Timmy, Joanne, Joel, like I'm getting emotional, just like from my experience, because this season has meant so much to me and it has helped me through so much. Even right now, I'm going through an IRL. So genuinely, thank you for this experience. I cannot wait to chat with you guys more. Jennifer, I nearly left Pussy Teeth behind in your honor. Sadly, production was not a fan of that, so I had to leave something else behind. But
It's okay.
in your honor, it was nearly there. And Seb, genuinely, you deserve this so much. You played a killer game. Meeting you has been incredible. And as we promised to each other, we're going to fucking Disney World when I'm there in Orlando. And
Yeah.
Julia and
Without
Joanne
Julia.
and Issa, if you're watching, y'all better come too.
Yeah, we're gonna be there for 13 hours. Okay, Julia?
Shut the fuck up.
Julia, can we
14
just
hours.
can we just all get stuck on It's a Small World
Yes.
for 13 hours?
I'll be on the People Mover just riding it. Meet me there.
Well, we
Bet.
do have some awards to get to. Before we get that, and before we get off the live stream, to those that are watching, we appreciate you all so much. The VL has been incredibly active this season, as has the pre-jury chat. Usually it's just like complete radio silence, but we had like active participation just every time like we announced a nomination or like who won HOH. We're like, oh, I bet, like either like cheers or boos or like, oh, I bet they're gonna do this. Like it was fantastic to see. So pre-jury, we appreciate you guys very much. But again, to the viewers, those in the VL, we appreciate you guys supporting us. We will see you at some point for season 7. No idea when that's gonna happen, but it will happen eventually. Just give us like a couple months break and we'll get back to you. So thank you all again, once again, for a fantastic season, and for the final time this season,